All right. All right, let's see if technology still likes me. Divine humans. We've been thinking a long time now that somehow our extraterrestrial humans, our other galactic humans, in this galaxy we're a humanoid form, are somehow much more advanced than us. About 5 years ago, Spirit started telling me, you are the divine blueprint. You are actually, you humans, are actually the latest iteration, the latest model of divine galactic beings. You are a melting pot from many other ET races. That's why there's 23 genetic experiments going on the far side of the moon, where the, quote, advanced ETs think they're here playing gods with us. And there's some truth to that. Adam's rib, genetic manipulation, Anunnaki, Pleiadians, etc., right? And they are actually creating the new model that they will be incarnating into. And so the last shall be first, the first shall be last. But I was shown this a long time ago. Oh, when the, like what, divine human, when there's an avatar, Krishna, Rama, Jesus, Buddha, ayahuasca, Pele, there's various gradations of that level of awakening, by the way. Shiva, St. John, St. Francis, St. Anthony. We all become saints. We become awakened, enlightened humans. This is the new divine model. We're actually much more flexible, much more malleable, able to travel the galaxy, believe it or not. So humans are going to turn out to be the new God, the new divinity model for the galaxy, which is partially why it's such a contentious time right now, and why there's such a push to keep us amnesiac, dumbed down with dumbed down everything, chemtrails, education, weaponized food, etc., all that, to keep us dumb, and religion saying you're pieces of shit, you're sinners, you're not gods, even though Jesus himself says plainly, one day, probably frustrated out there on the hills, Lewis Black style, don't you know you're gods, and these things I do you shall do, and greater things. And not that it's easy. I've been going through a major Kundalini upgrade this past year, and it's still going on. This morning I was still dealing with stuff. It's still going on right now up in the side of my head here. We're transmuting ourselves. We're into bodies of light. This is what Jesus does. He takes his body with him. He ascends. It's what Buddha does. It's what Saint Germain is doing right now. It's what Kutumi is doing right now. It's what El Morya is doing right now. It's what Mother Mary is doing right now. It's what Mary Magdalene is doing. It's what Pele. Thousands of saints, awakened light beings that can go in and out of physicality. So we are actually much further ahead than the genetic races that think they have been playing God to us, and they're in for a surprise when God reveals to them, you've been making your own new bodies. So actually recently in one of my vibrational therapy sessions, which is the only thing that's working for moving this Kundalini for me, you know. And you don't want to get rid of it. You want to go through your awakening. There's no way around it, but there is a way through it. So you are the gods, if you're listening to this. If you're not, you're going to dismiss me, or, you know, maybe get all triggered by me, which is fine. Don't leave a comment unless you really want to. I'll just delete it. So we are the gods. You are the ones you've been waiting for. You've been hearing that. Why does that resonate so much? Because it rings true inside of you. Your spinal column, your pillar of fire goes, whoa. Yes, that makes sense. So it's kind of an interesting game. Now, the beings that have been feeding off people, Star Wars style, the Empire, you know, draining planets, Death Stars, all that, that's very real. It's a documentary, really, Star Wars. The names have been changed to protect the innocent and the guilty, but it's pretty much a documentary. Jupiter Ascending is an even better documentary. It was a little too blatant about the soul loose harvesting thing, so they kind of had to put it down. But Watch it if you haven't. Those beings are fighting to keep humans as their food. You know? They don't want us to wake up. So there's the battle on Earth. I have to say it's really positive. The last few days here in Phoenix, I'm in Phoenix right now, I'll be in Sedona next week hopefully. For the first time in quite a while. It'll be awesome to feel the red rocks. I'm just going to go out there and lay on the red rocks and let her magnetize and clean me and cleanse me. I will likely be restarting the Course of Awakening retreats up there. You can attend in person or via the web. So look for that coming up in here in 2018. Probably do a couple of them, hopefully, if God lets me. One of the chapters in my manuscript I have of the new book I'm putting out, if Source lets me put it out, has to do with humans' gift to the galaxy. That's an actual title. I probably wrote that 8 months ago. And while I was still thinking, or actually more like a year ago, thinking that I was going to keep going with my teaching, which I am now. I'm coming back a little bit slowly, and I'm doing the webcasts, by the way, tobiaslars.com if you're interested in once a week. We do a webcast, still a small group, maybe 10 people right now, but Spirit's telling me at some point it's going to get kind of big. So if you want to be part of it being still intimate, you know, check it out. So we are the gods. This is why the smart angels that try to help us, the smart divine beings, the old giving our power away, like the Pleiadians, for instance, are back on Earth because they knew some of them played gods to us. It's kind of seductive. The guru thing, massive teacher, you know, I'm a king, you all worship, bow down to me. It's kind of seductive. So some of the ETs played gods on Earth, even though the last shall be first and the first shall be last. The lowly humans are going to turn out to be the gods. You carry a mixture of DNA from across the galaxy inside yourself. I don't think we're the only experiment in the galaxy, but it's just a handful of planets that are doing this melting pot. Just like the United States was a melting pot for Earth, where we try to mix cultures with some success. Lately we're burping out the latest racism stuff is going to come up, you know, all that. But America is the experiment. So Earth is a galactic melting pot for the galaxy of different mammalians, lion beings, dracos, mer people, dolphin energies, Sirius, etc. Fish, mammal, bird, bear, you know, all that. These are actual beings from other parts of the galaxy that are humanoid, but they might have a bird's head, an avian, like Thoth, you know, the Hermes Trismegistus, the magician that helped with Egypt. Or lately people are talking about the blue avians, you know, and that's triggering people, of course. Or the lion-headed beings. These are very real. So Sobek, the crocodile beings, the dracos. These are mixtures, but we're the, like Shakespeare says, like a god in action, so beauteous in form. This is the place, even though it feels like a long time, the last 5 million years on Earth, Atlantis 200,000 years ago, collapsed 10,500 BC, totally collapsed, but it went on for about 250,000 years. It seems like a long experiment and a lot of pain and suffering, and I'm not minimizing that. I've been going through massive kundalini, ancient fears, ancient dragon demons, crapola. That is really part of my personal history. So my interest is in awakening individuals or giving you tools to help you awaken. Shiva created 108 methods way back in Lemuria. Now, this is an advanced video. If you're just starting, some of this is you're going to go, whoa, that's really far out, Tobias. Yes, it is. But one of the techniques Shiva created was what's called Nidra Yoga now. I didn't know that, but he came to me and showed me. I call it the inner body awakening. You know, Eckhart Tolle talks about it in his book. So innerbodyawakening.com is the biggest help I've been able to give to people. It's to actually take you through it, to learn it, so you can feel your own energies. Spirit has me doing it every day for a couple hours, just to stay currently. to stay in the river, in the flow, in the current of the current. So I recommend that, innerbodyawakening.com. The next step is to learn to work with alchemy energy process. And then the third thing is theheartenergy.com. I recommend them as personal tools. And while we're still using money, eventually we'll transcend money as passé, but right now we're still doing it. We're going to move into some kind of electronic money, digital currencies. I'm not sure if it's Bitcoin and that, but it's somewhere where we're going to own it. But anyway, so you are the gods. This is why when the ETs start talking to you and you start thinking you're important and channeling their stuff, be careful. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. Don't totally buy into fancy off-world. Just because you're a spirit doesn't mean you're enlightened. Just because you can operate in the fourth dimension doesn't mean you're enlightened or nice. So 4 or 5D, you can still be dealing with dark forces, like the Emperor in Star Wars. I'm using it because it's such a classic collective example in the collective consciousness. You are the authority. Author your own self. Don't you know that you are God? So all this ET stuff, and even the old races on Earth, the elder races, the eld, fire, and the L shift, like the Mayans did an L shift, a 90-degree shift out of the dimensions, the elder, look at the L, see, it's everywhere. It'll reveal itself to you. Right now, if you feel it and receive it, you get the gift of seeing through symbols. You'll get the innate aha. Ha is the breath of God. Aha, ha is the breath of God in Hawaiian. Ha-wai, the breath of God moves across the waters. Ha-wai, o-ha-na, mahalo. All of it can be revealed. You are the gods. We are the gods. So the biggest thing we can do to heal the earth is to heal ourselves. Start eating right, move your body, connect with God first, inner body awakening, prayer, meditation, yoga, whatever. Eat right, move your body, then do the outer work. Much love. All right. Check out the webcasts if you're interested. One full conscious breath, the world's shortest meditation. I am here now. More later.